Hello, everyone. Welcome to Loud and Proud Orlando, Thursday edition. You know, no me gusta. I'm not gonna finish it, because PG-13 here. Orlando City delivered a really dominant performance, defeating the Tampa Bay Rowdies 5-0, 5-0 in the U.S. Open Cup round of 32, advancing to the round of 16. The match, obviously part of the very well known I-4 Derby. Orlando definitely had an outstanding performance by 16-year-old Gustavo Caraballo, and definitely were able to find the rhythm and attack, which is what a lot of fans have been yearning and looking for. Obviously, it's US Open Cup. We're talking about a USL team, but we'll dive into the analysis of what the game was, how special it was, how the fans made it special, how some of the new guys, I got some word on some of the new guys in the team, had no really, I mean, they had an idea because they were told that this was a special game, and they didn't know how special it was. So we'll discuss all of that and more. We're also going to be previewing the New England Revolution, the game coming up on Saturday. So stay tuned. This is Loud and Proud Orlando. I'm here with John. John, how are you, my friend? You were right there, man. You were in the bus. You were out there. Somebody threw smoke on the field.
There's always one, man. There's always
Yeah.
one.
So, how you feel,
Um,
man?
yeah, man, Rowdies, tell me, how does it feel to lose 8 times in a row, baby? I mean, yeah, it's everything we hope for, right, Luis? Shout out to you for nailing it once again on the predictions. You got it bang on with a 5-0. I thought you were being hopeful for the goals there, but clearly the Rowdies are just that bad, and everything's just seemed to click, right? We were hoping for the Ramiro goal, we were hoping for a Duncan goal. We got those. We'll get a little bit more into the game in a bit, but for the fans' perspective, I want to start there. I went on the bus with the Ruckas. Both Ruckas and ILF took a bus down. There's probably about 300 or so in that area that you could see, Luis, that you get some great footage of. Us, you got some great video of us bullying Pelican Pete, who I don't know why, as a mascot, you decide I'm going to come over and get involved with the Orlando City fans. That was only one way that was going to go, but it was a great day out. We bust down, did our march to the match. This pop smoke. There's a great video on Loud and Proud Orlando that Luis took of him from the press box, so you can see all of us walking in.
What do we see
Um,
there? Yes.
I love it. It was such a good video, Luis. And yeah, it was just such a great day to be in amongst with all the OG fans. But not only that, it was a mix of the fans that had been there like 10 years ago, right, Luis? But also some fans that had never been there before and was like, I've heard of what it is like to go to a Rowdies game with Orlando City fans, but I've never been. And so that next generation of supporters, both with Ruckus, ILF, anybody who came out to the game was all there to kind of experience this away day at the Rowdies for the first time. And then the veterans were just, I think, bathed in nostalgia, right? For me, I was just talking to so many people that I hadn't seen in a long time, seeing so many old faces, just not only just from fans, but like there was, guys taking photos I haven't seen in
Like
years,
Marthor,
like Nigel, right?
Nigel,
And
yeah.
so many of these like faces, I'm just like, everybody wants to come out and see, this game because they know what it means to the OGs of Orlando City, and then the youth is starting to learn what it means as well. So it was just a great day for the fans. Everyone had so much fun. Of course, someone's got to do something stupid, apparently. So, it is what it is. Like, it's illegal to bring smoke into the stadium. They knew that. They brought it in. They let it off. The repercussions are the repercussions, right? Everyone else, we did it outside. No repercussions. The cops, everything was really fine. Even that one incident, right? Like, there wasn't that much drama around it. So I really wanted to say, a really great showing from the fans. It was so much fun for everybody who went down there. And I know the players, like you said, Luis, you could tell a lot of them were like, whoa, this is really cool. I didn't expect, this much presence. And they came up to us at the end and clapped us and everything. So it was a great day, man. Everything that I could have hoped for. And the game, of course, was awesome as well. But shout out to everybody who went out there. If you were on the buses, if you drove, if you lived out there and you just came out or whatever. But it's so good to see the Lions on the road. So it was so nice to be there. And I really feel like the players appreciated that, Luis. You could tell.
Look, a couple of things. Number one, the Orlando made themselves be seen and heard. And I do want to say kudos to the really faithful Rowdies fans that on a Wednesday night on that bridge, they had to drive down to see their team get
Pete.
Not only that, like, get completely trashed. Now, the way, and I do want to say this, they're having a little bit of a grassroots. There's new Rowdies fans there that also have never seen this, to the point that I was talking to people around the stadium and they hit it right on the money. They said 3,000 to 4,000 approx, and the actual attendance count, it's 3,735 people. Now, out of those 3,000 fans, I'll say between your section that you were there, John, that I do want to say it is a little bit, and I know why they're doing this, but they're not Rowdies, with all due respect, y'all are not yet at the level. You're not at MLS level, like, at all. Not even MLS Next Pro, I believe. So y'all shun Orlando City fans onto some bleachers at the end. Y'all easily could have gone one of your sections and at least have them some sort of comfort, there. But either way, whatever.
Well, quickly on that, Louise, is a great point, because obviously we sold out that whole section, which is like 300, right? And so if that whole end of the baseball stadium that you could see where there's a bunch of Orlando City fans, that's what the Rowdies gave us more tickets there, because we didn't have enough. So a lot of the other people that wanted to go, that contacted the club, got tickets in that section. Then you had Orlando City fans dotted around all over.
Exactly.
And what they should have done is just given us, and you can see it on the screen right now, that whole other side of the field, they had the green bleachers.
Yeah.
And that was a decent sized section that was probably enough for at least, maybe 2,000 over there. I don't know exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But they could have put all the Orlando City fans over there.
Exactly. They could have definitely.
They definitely. I mean, every time we go there, there's always a new plan for what to do with the the cage before had a chain link fence on the front that was so tall, and now they went just down to barriers. So honestly, where we were was fine, but we weren't able to walk the stadium. We only had one concession stand with the only option of food was a hot dog. So if you don't like hot dogs, you were starving basically. And so it wasn't really a full stadium experience. You're not able to walk around at our stadium. When the away fans come, they're able to walk, they have a section, but they're able to walk around at least. We weren't able to do that. We were literally put in our little section on our own. So it did feel a little bit oh, this is what you've given us.
Yeah, it felt like it was a little bit of trying to them stick a little jab, but it didn't really sting, because they're the Rowdies. I mean, they're dead last in the USL. So I was told by even fans outside the stadium that they're not really as hot. They're making Orlando Pride numbers, when it comes to attendance, or even a little less than that.
They're gonna lose the stadium too.
To the point, John, that the Tampa Bay Sun brings more people at at the high school, Howard Blake High School in Tampa, at Riverfront. They bring more people than the Rowdies on an average game. Now, Orlando City made themselves heard. Kudos to the Iron Lion firm. Kudos to the Ruckus. Kudos to all the fans that attended. There were fans that were scattered all over. Um, Kudos to the Ruckus and Iron Lion firm for making themselves heard. Obviously, it was permitted, the whole smoke situation. It was really impressive to the point that even Rowdy's staff, which I was right up front, it took them abide. Like they didn't know what was happening. They never seen that before. So they thought something was happening. They called the police. Like like they didn't know. And I do also want to give thank you to the Rowdies because in a way they answered to my call last minute and we were able to definitely come and cover. They were really kind they have this media section where the media goes. It's on um I think it's station 306, or it's like all the way to the top of the stadium. They have some desks, and the outlets on those desks did not work. Their PR, we couldn't plug in any of our stuff. It was just me, and I want to give kudos to my friend that I met him from Open Cup US.
Oh, the man who runs that X account.
Yep. Open and the Instagram.
He's
He
one of
was
my. That's one of my favorite admins out there.
so
I should have known.
the
I would
cup
tell him
I want
respect.
to give a big shout out to the cup.us. It was myself and the gentleman from the cup.us. He's unfortunately Inter. He used to cover Inter before they were cool. My friend Christian Gomez was there. It was Gomez and myself up there. We couldn't plug in our computers, and the PR came out to our aid, and there was no commentary for there was no commentary for this game. And so they told us, hey, we have some outlets to read the commentary booth. Would you like to come into the commentary booth? We're like, it's hot as hell. Hell yeah, let's do it. So we went into the commentary booth. Man, it was really cool. Obviously, there was a lot of equipment there, but we made it work. So I do want to say thank you to that. I also want to thank the lovely lady from the concession stand that I don't know if she saw me like, who the hell is this guy? Poor guy. Like the guy comes with his little nice button down shirt. It's hot as hell. And I was gonna buy a water, and she saw me with a press credential, and she's like, "Oh no, you can have it for free. It's okay." So whoever you are, lady, thank you so much because you made my day. And so it started really good, and then you guys did that with the smoke. It took all like there was no Rowdies fans when you guys did it. It was all staff and Rowdies players. I don't know why. And this is a thing that the security person told me. Rowdies fans come late. I just don't
noticed
understand.
that. Like it was really empty, and then there's like
Yeah,
a few more. I mean, it was empty anyway, but like most of them turned up late. Yeah.
and then that Orlando's coming, especially if you're in Ralph's mob. You know what they're gonna do. I mean, come on, dude. Especially if you're an OG Rowdies fan, and y'all show up late as hell, and then you dared to sing F Orlando no history. Come on, man. Give me a break.
I mean, they obviously wouldn't let us have our drums, right? So they knew that would be detrimental to
Yeah.
them. So we didn't have they had the drums, and like they would have the drums and singing, and I still couldn't hear them and it was like times that we weren't singing anything, and I still couldn't hear them. Like it was a very weak showing for Ralph's Bob. The tifo
Yeah,
when
I
we
wanted
set
to go
up.
to that.
Yeah, do you have that picture? Because that's definitely an
I
interesting
don't have a
topic.
I don't have a picture of it itself, but I mean it looked like a
It was It said like Lasso, and then it
Yeah,
was
like
like
Ted Lasso.
Scar with like the guy was like punching Scar, and everybody
Okay.
was like, "What is
No, it's
this?" We
not
thought
there.
it like people thought it was Ted Lasso. So Lasso is their center back, and I guess that's what they wanted him up there, but it didn't look like the center back at all. The guy with the ponytail, the big 6'5" guy with the ponytail, center back. So that's Lasso, and I guess they like he's like their Jansen or whatever. I don't know. They
Yeah.
love him, and so like, they put him on this banner, but no one knew what it was, and it also doesn't hang over the supporters. So it's just like the supporter, like Ralph Bob is like over here, and then the banner is over some other people who is just like, great, now I can't see the game in this baseball stadium. So it was awkward, Luis, and
Yeah, they
it was
did the.
great to yeah. I mean, it's the Rowdies are as bad as they always have been, and that was great to see.
I mean, look, they. I mean, they could have done The Last of Us. They could have done like. They could have done some cool stuff. Like they did, like Scar from Disney and Ted and Lasso. I thought it was Ted Lasso at first. I was like, okay, so what does that
Everyone
have
was
to
like,
do with?
"What is that?"
Yeah, and everybody started chanting, What the hell is that?" Right? And you could hear, and this is the thing: Orlando City fans did not have drums. Ralph Smart had the drums. You could hear from where I was at. You could hear Orlando City louder, and I'm not biased here because I will say it otherwise. I mean, you could hear them louder, and it got into a point that it was 3-0, and bro, they weren't even chanting anymore. Like they weren't even chanting anymore. Like it was
We
pretty it was pretty somber at some point. But anyways, let's read some comments real quick, and then we're gonna dive into the game. Let's see here. Josh Stahl, Vamos Orlando, let's go. Landon, which we could have had drums and flags would have been our stadium at that point. Exactly. I just didn't like the fact that if make it look, at least even for TV, just by having you guys in an actual section would have looked even made him look a little better, in my opinion.
Well, if you watch the highlights back, you could just hear us like all the
Yeah,
time. You can hear that, it's all the different chants that were going on. Like it's, I feel like the rest of the like fans of Open Cup and other fans of MLS and USL clubs probably like saw some of this and saw the highlights and just like, oh, Orlando like brought like their entire fan base out to the Rowdies, and from that point of view, Luis, I feel like it's respect, right? People are like, oh, that's cool, look at this. This to me felt very much like soccer culture, right? Like this is what it's about, like in a way it is,
exactly.
bringing your fans into a stadium, having that real like back and forth between the opposing, supporter groups. It was good.
And I do want to give kudos to the USL because yesterday a lot of the MLS teams won, but some of them only won by one goal. Like Austin, they faced El Paso Locomotive, and they were. I mean, it was a
There were
close
some tight
game.
games. Philly on
Yeah.
penalties, right?
San Jose Earthquakes with a red card with 10 men, 2-1 against Sacramento Republic. You know, it,
Only stupid New York were the
yeah,
ones that lost to the
yeah.
River Hounds.
Minnesota with Louisville City, our former good friends from Louisville City, 1-0, result. Rhode Island, which I do want to give, this was another derby. I do want to say, like the Rhode Island against New England, it is a 2-1 result. The Revs won 2-1. So, definitely so a lot of even games. Philly won by penalties, dude. So
Yeah, for
against Indy
sure.
11,
But I
yeah.
think overall it shows the golfing quality is still there between,
Yeah,
like it was MLS reserve sides beating USL teams
yeah.
most of the time, like us, without that much effort.
61 people live. Thank you so much. If you're on X, retweet to the video. If you're on YouTube, leave us a thumbs up. Drop your comment. We'll reach you. David Albury, love the win. Thank you so much, sir. Salty H2O. Hopefully, Duncan's goal helps him build some confidence. I truly agree on that. And I love that it was Rodriguez's assist. That was the best part, but we'll discuss that. But so, Orlando City, to get into the game, obviously dominated all possession, dominated all scoring opportunities. They pressed pretty high, forced on the turnovers. A 16-year-old literally commanded the attack for Orlando. It was Gustavo Caraballo on the right side. The Rowdies, the first, I will say, 15 to 20 minutes, they came out swinging. They were playing a little bit overly physical, especially against Freeman, against Caraballo, against Dagger Dan. And but they just, you could see the quality difference at that point. Their number 9 was a complete tool. I do want to say Artiaga, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
What a douchebag. I'm sorry, but he was a douche. Either way, Orlando's defense, which was composed of Orlando City's Swiss Army knife, Kyle Smith, right there. Man, he does it all. I was telling my friend from the Cup about Kyle Smith, how he has played the 6, the 8. He's played center back. He's played right back. He's played left back. And he couldn't believe it. And I even told him that he came from Louisville City. He couldn't believe it either. So, those are a couple of things that, when you are covering teams like Inter Miami, you don't get to know. But Kyle Smith was definitely one of the best players in the game for sure. 6 consecutive clean sheet across all competition. John, why do you think Orlando City won this game in such fashion?
A few things. One, I think we got that nice blend of guys that were in rotation and are hungry and young guys, but also a few key elements in there like Martin Ojeda. I think we had Martin Ojeda and Dagger both just almost performing and, filling those roles of keeping the ball at their feet, right? I think Dagger was kind of doing the Atuesta role in this one, and I think he had a really great game. Obviously, assist and capped it with a goal. But the way that he was pulling the ball around, the way they were working the ball left to right at a much faster speed. I know Oscar talked about this as well. Just overall, the movement off the ball, the speed of which they moved the ball, and the possession in the center of the park was all much better than what we saw against Chicago. Granted, it's against, I think a much inferior opponent, but I do think we saw a really positive performance from the likes of like Nico Rodriguez, of course, Caraballo, but Dagger Dan, Enrique, Duncan, everyone looked like they're out there being confident. Rafa Santos, had some dodgy moments, but at least got the assists. So maybe that will help build his confidence a little bit as well and see if we can get him back in form. And I think overall it was just a very well executed performance. And I think that Oscar clearly got across to them, Luis, the importance of this game. And even though we picked the rotated lineup, I don't think the boys were taking it lightly. They took it very seriously. They came out there and said, we're going to impose our game on you. We're going to, move the ball around quickly. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to get numbers up the field and just overwhelmed the Rowdies. I mean, they held out for like that first sort of 30 minutes and then Caraballo's goal and it just sort of the floodgates opened. But great game for the boys, and they gave everything the away fans were hoping for, man. I mean, 5 goals, in their stadium. It was awesome to see. I'm sure everybody at home loved watching it just as much as we did there in the stadium.
Yeah, Oscar Pareja, like John was saying, rotated the squad due to fixture congestion. Making 7 changes from the last match. Obviously, Cesar Araujo, and also Otero, Kyle Smith were part of the first team, and they surrounded them with a lot of players that didn't have a lot of minutes. It was a great surprise and a breath of fresh air to see Nico Rodriguez be part of the attack for Orlando City. And I think that made them a little bit more cohesive up top, and they were able to definitely execute some of the plays. I would love to see Rodriguez when the potato's hot against a better opponent, just to see truly what he got. It kind of reminds me when Angulo first came into the team. He has the same similar kind of flair on the 1v1. But I just feel he has a better, I mean, be honest with you, I mean, I don't want to talk bad, but I think Nico's a little bit more. His foot is. He's a little bit more talented when it comes to crossing and lobbing the ball and doing that.
Great
Through
assist for Duncan.
right, yeah, like that through pass. In the attacking third. I think he's able to do that better than Ivan Angulo. Ivan Angulo is just that spark of fire on the wing that doesn't stop. It's like a energizer bunny. But we're gonna see the first goal right here. We have the first goal. It comes on the feet of Nico Rodriguez, going on the 1v1. Let me go ahead and press play here.
Be collective in what they do. What moments do they recognize and execute?
Ojeda, low cross, Orlando City breaks through in the I-4 derby. It's the 16-year-old Caraballo.
There you go. Now, I do want to say, John, you called it, man, because you said when we did the lineup, we need to have Ojeda there. And we agreed, both of us. We're like, yeah, Ojeda needs to
Yeah.
be part of the attack. And I think Papi understands.
Well, I don't know if he was saving him for this game. I feel like that's a bit overkill to like rest him for
Well,
2 games for the Rowdies, but I feel like it's more like yes, Ojeda, but we need that like creative 10 in there, right? We need that guy. I think Dagger also helped a lot with the creation in this game. I don't think you can play Kyle Smith and Cesar and expect a lot of creativity out of the midfield. But yeah, Ojeda. What a slip in here, and what a great. He does that ball all the time across the box like that, and Caraballo read it perfectly.
yeah, and the fans were ecstatic right there. I think you were there, John, too. But it started with Rodriguez. So he had a good moment there. Let's read some comments. Let's see what people are saying. Says here, I hope we win Saturday and move up the standings. Vamos Orlando, let's go. We wish we could have had drums and flags. Would have been our stadium at that point. Thank you so much. And honestly, after this game, it just kind of shows the tactical flexibility that Pareja has with this team. It also shows that there was a little bit more of a clinical finish here than other games. We're definitely, I think, should see Caraballo in more MLS games, and we'll talk about Orlando City's roster also before the end of the show, because we have the updated roster for Orlando City. It's up to date, and transfer window doesn't open until July the 24th. So we'll discuss all of that in just a moment. So, Tampa Bay Rowdies, what do you think they lost? I think they had no freaking chance, especially after
Yeah,
the first goal.
the first goal, and then Caraballo was cooking, and then he got the second goal. I mean, the level of confidence for a 16-year-old, and like his interview he gave, I just feel like he's very mature for his age, very down to earth. We've heard this reports from other people, but I think when you see the way he plays, the way he conducts himself, I mean, everyone talking about Kevin Sullivan, right? This is our Kevin Sullivan. Yeah, right. And like
Right.
we should be I don't think we should be overhyping him. I want to be careful about, I think it's very risky sometimes when you have
Right.
these wonder kids to build them up so much. Like the guy's 16 years old. He's still mainly going to play OCB. He'll probably get some more and more first team minutes as the season goes on. Maybe by the end of the season, he'll be like a mainstay of the first team. But this was a great start against lesser opposition. First, actual start for him. Gets a brace. Everybody's talking about him. Everybody's, all the U.S. youth national team accounts are hoping he's gonna, go for USA instead of Venezuela, that kind of stuff. But I don't want to, ruin the fact that he's also a very down to earth guy, and I don't think we want him to, feel pressure as a 16-year-old, like he's going to be the one that we're going to look to. Of course, he played really well, but he should just continue his development, and we're going to see more and more of him. Hopefully, Luis, as the season goes on, and maybe next season we'll be like, oh, he's a nailed on first team kind of guy, like we have seen with Alex Freeman.
With Freeman, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the Rowdies conceded 3 goals in 8 minutes.
Yeah, that second half, man, that was just the floodgates opened.
It was catastrophic. The Rowdies backline, I have their names here. I wrote them down: Aaron Guillen and Zane Castellanos. I mean, I think their moms only know them, to be honest with you. I really never heard of them. Not even my neighbor knows who they are, but it's okay. They couldn't handle Orlando's high press. And they started doing this high press, man. I felt at some point I felt a little bad because I was like, bro, they're doing MLS play against these guys. You know, like this is serious for them.
Yeah.
And obviously their ineffective attack, like that guy Arteaga, he's, you know how many shots per game he's averaging? 1 shot per game almost.
Yeah.
Yes, trash.
It was trash from them. I kind of felt like halftime with 3-0, like it was already over. I just don't think they ever,
And he fouled Dagodan, and he was fouling also Freeman, like excessively, trying to get all like cute with him and stuff.
That was that bad one on Nico.
Yeah, and Nico as well. And then the ref just letting them play. Like I was just like, she was like not giving any yellow cards. Definitely. Their approach for the Rowdies was this: we're gonna follow Orlando City, make them uncomfortable, and hopefully we get a ball in transition, we get a mistake by the keeper, we get a turnover, and then we can try to see if we can capitalize. But unfortunately, and I do say, this team is owned by the Rays owners, and they're not investing jack shit. I'm sorry that I said that. They're not investing not even 1 penny on this team. And it shows tremendously because they have garbage players right in attack. So this is the second goal right here, and this is, you see, is a mistake in the Rowdies part, and the way Orlando asphyxiated and then ends with another goal by Gustavo Caraballo with his brace.
The goals to show for
Now look at that.
The work that they're putting in. Turnover here.
Caraballo again! He has a first half brace! Separated by only a couple of minutes. He just got his license, and he's got a first half brace in the round of 32 of the Open Cup.
That was great.
And just an absolutely punishing blow delivered from Orlando City. Their relentless press, the ability to regain possession right outside the 18-yard box, and just being decisive in the runs and the ball played in.
Yeah, so their keeper was kind of frustrated. The ball,
great pressing by Dagger there. I mean, to get that ball back, and then great little slip pass through. I mean, that's the kind of stuff we didn't see at all, like in the 0-0 against Chicago, right? And we've been lacking that final ball that just needs to be a much better quality. I feel like it's easier against the Rowdies because their defense is so bad, but we need to just do that same thing in MLS, right? The same principles apply.
For sure. And, we need to see that suffocating high press that disrupted Tampa Bay, especially on their build-up. It pretty much led to the Rowdies to turn over the ball. And then we were effective. I mean, Orlando was effective on all levels. And I feel like Schlegel looked like the Rudiger or like Upamecano. I'm telling you, compared to those center backs, Kyle Smith looked like David Alaba. I'm telling you, like they look powerful, and Javier Otero also maintained the 526-minute shutout streak.
Yeah.
So good for them. I mean, I felt confident on Otero. I'm glad that he got the minutes, to be honest with you, because with Pedro's form right now, obviously Pedro has the number one spot, but I just love the fact how Oscar is giving him that trust on trusting him in this, especially this is a really big game, pretty big game. And for him to get another shot out, I think that was fantastic too, especially for his motivation and for what's coming next. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he made some good saves at the end there, a couple of good saves, and then also, Nico on the Duncan goal, that was great. I think that was really well taken by Duncan. It was a bit of an error from the Rowdies back line, but regardless, he puts it away. And then we capped it off with that dagger Dan goal, man. It was beautiful to see, and he kind of came over, lifted his shirt for, I think that's his baby. Is that his baby's name that he's gonna have? I wasn't quite sure. I think that's what he was referring to
Oh yeah.
on his jersey. Yeah.
For Dagger, yeah.
Yeah.
What's his baby's name? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for
That
him.
he's going to be having soon. So
Yeah.
that was a really nice moment too. And just, I think the end with the fans came over and threw their arms up with like we do at home. It was just all in all a great day out, and like what an experience for the likes of Caraballo and the other guys too, like Enrique and Duncan. Like they've never seen this, right? And they didn't. I think guys like Alex Freeman, hopefully it hits extra hard. Guys that feel like they're academy guys, or Kyle Smith, who really has been here a long time. It's a rivalry for them too, right? They wanna make sure they beat their local rivals for sure.
No, they realized it, and I do want to say something too that I did not like at all whatsoever with the. This is one of look, the Rowdies. Nothing against the people that treated at least the press really good, because they really, I mean, they were really nice when it comes to that. But when it came to the security, I didn't like the fact, like, look, your stadium is freaking empty, dude. And I witnessed this. Fans, or the Orlando City fans, and drove 2.5 hours to see this game on a Wednesday night, that were not part of the bus for where the ruckus was and the Iron Lion firm. They wanted to take pictures with Dagger, and the players were coming towards that side, to the point that there was a family that Pedro spotted, and he was ready to give his whole entire kit. Like, Pedro was about to go in underwear to the tunnel, and and this bald guy, I'm gonna tell him, he looked like Heisenberg from the freaking Breaking Bad, right? He was working there. He had a pink shirt. I don't know his name. Bro, you cannot be so rude, man. Like, he was rude to that family. F off, back off. Like, look, if this would have been a packed game, I totally understand. But if you have the A-OK of the player that he wants to give his jersey by his own decision to make that kid smile, or whatever family smile, let him. Dagger wanted also to come and give his jersey to another lady that was there. They were pushing the fans away, and the players ended up just going to the tunnel and saying, sorry, I try to give it to you, I can't. And that to me is shitty, because it would have said, like, you imagine the smile on those guys, on those families' faces, or those pictures, those memories you guys would have allowed those people that drove so far to have. Like, I just think it's a little bit unempathetic. Like, there's times you enforce the law, and but there's times you gotta be customer service, dude. And this was a moment that, hey, yeah, we came to enemy territory, but they treat me actually very fairly. Good for them. Hopefully, if they reach the USL finals, I'll root for the freaking Rowdies. But now that you ruined this kid that started crying because Galese couldn't give him his jersey, and Galese had to go back into the tunnel, now he's always going to remember, F the Rowdies. And with all due reason, thanks to some dude that looked like Heisenberg. It doesn't make any sense to me. But sorry for that rant, John. But it pissed me off because I was right behind the lady.
No, I mean it's the security was ineffective. Like they didn't they had us come in, they didn't actually check anything. So it's like, well, what is the point? And then they just spent the whole time staring at us, not doing anything, just oh, let's call the police every time we see something that we don't like, right? They weren't actually doing much at all. So yeah, stuff like that is frustrating, but I feel like a lot of fans hopefully had a good time and a good experience. Even though we were, in the enemy's house. I want to read this comment, Luis. I think it was Joshua Tall was asking about the foul that could have happened. Could have been. Should that have been a red card? What do you guys think about the? Some fans say they should have been a red when he fouled his arm. I mean, that was really bad. It was like,
yeah, it was
from
bad.
behind in the box, like bad challenge. She didn't even call a foul at all. Like it definitely could have been a red, I think, or at least a yellow minimum and a foul and a PK. But it was not. I believe it was in the box from behind as well.
Yeah,
So
at that point, I felt like the ref was just trying to compensate.
yeah, it was.
Oh,
It was weird.
4-0 is enough.
Yeah, but it didn't matter. It was just one of those things where I didn't want anyone to get injured. So hopefully Nico, or was it Cesar on that one? I can't remember. I know Nico also took a bad foul. So hopefully everybody is okay and we don't have any injuries coming out of the Rowdies.
Yeah.
I think that's everything. You got anything else on the Rowdies?
No, we have 105 people live right now. Thank you so much for your support. Make sure that you are retweeting the video on your X account, and if you're not on X, you're on YouTube. Make sure you drop us a thumbs up and a comment. And if you are actually you are in listening to us right now, thank you for your support. Make sure you drop us a 5-star review and tell us how much you like Loud and Proud Orlando. And then we have this lovely, look at this graph. There you go. Look at this graph. The Orlando City roster profile updated 2025.
Yeah,
all the players. This is Orlando City 2025,
I
guys.
can't really
This is
zoom
it
anymore. But you can see, I mean, everybody, this is out on socials. You can see, I'm sure, everywhere. You can download it for yourselves. It's kind of what we know, right? It doesn't have the salaries in. That won't come out till I believe the end of the year for that one. This is like what they have to put out at the end of every transfer window. Like they're releasing, this is the status of the squad, right? The roster profile as of May 1st. We know Muriel Ojeda, Pasalic are our DPs. Our only U22s right now are Ramiro Enrique and Nico Rodriguez. So we've got TAM players, Ivan Angulo, Cesar Rojo, Cesar Tuesta, David Brecolo, Wilder Cartagena, Pedro Gillespie, and Duncan McGuire. And then we've got a bunch of other guys who are on the same roster, but they're just regular senior players. Then we have supplemental roster. I was surprised Rebay was on the supplemental roster. I didn't realize that. And then, there was mainly OCB players on there. And then very young homegrown players in the likes of Caraballo, Tahiri Brown, and Colin Gusky, who we don't actually pay for if you know about MLS roster rules. You don't, well, we do pay them, obviously, but your homegrown players don't count towards your salary cap. So this is the designations, international slots. We know who our international players are. These SEIs, we know Wilder and Sakata are our SEIs at the moment. And we have about 834,000 in GAM, so general allocation money left to play with sort of in the summer, Luis. And that, as you pointed out, that U22 spot is the opening there. So we could do a quick conversation on what do we think we should do with the GAM and our remaining spot in the summer, Luis.
Wow. Look, number one is health. This is it. I do want to say Fabian Loyola, like he's taking a spot in the supplemental roster. I don't know what kind of injury he has. all I know is that I see him on his Instagram, like posting pictures in picnics and stuff, and he looks like he's a fashion model or something. He wears like $1,000 pair of jeans. Bro, like I want to see you like Wilder Cartagena, like rehabbing, like or at least know that you're working out, bro. Because I would rather have Gustavo Caraballo right there in the supplemental roster, to be honest with you. Uh, um, but yeah, I mean, we need. To me, I think we need somebody in the defense, somebody that will complement Alex Freeman. So we have Alex Freeman on the right. We have Dagger that could also play that position if we needed be. Um, and we have also Taifi as well that can come in. But on the left, we're a little wearing thin. Also, maybe a win back. A really good win back under 22 from Europe, or somebody that would fit Oscar's system. Someone that it's an impact player, immediate impact player, because those are the type of players we need, John. I mean, somebody that just suits up and it's ready to go, And I think we have pretty good GAM available to spend, at least $500,000 on a really good under 22 player. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I think a wing back, somebody that could play either the left wing position and the left back position. Because right now we have Yutaro Sukada, he's not available. Fabian Loyola, God knows what's going on with him. I think a win back will somebody that's a player that is able to contribute into Oscar's system. I think it will make more sense in my opinion. I don't know what do you feel about that?
No, 100%. I think a left wing back is what's needed, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I hate to bag on the guy all the time, but even Rafa Santos had his moments against Rowdies. And it's like, yo, like they're not that good. You shouldn't look flustered, like they're not. You shouldn't be under having, there's that first 30 minutes. There's a couple of occasions where he, got beat, and I'm like, oh, this is USL guys. So I think it really shows he's one, I think, that confidence either high or low. And when it's low, he just can't produce and he has to get himself out of that funk. And right now, he's definitely our weakest link in the back line. We already put Brekalo there and that solved it. But really, like, we want to have Brekalo available to be center back most of the time. So I agree. I think in the summer, if they can find maybe they're going to give it, until then for Rafa to really sort it out. But regardless, I think we need competition. A real left-footed left back / left wing back is what's needed.
Yeah, because look, you get a left wing back that could play the wing, so left winger and a left back position, both positions. And not only you solve and you give competition to Nico and to Angulo, but you can play that 5 back, and you have a really good player like Freeman on the right, and now you're going to match that intensity on the left. And now football or soccer can come from both flanks, not just expecting to Muriel or Ojeda to create something of the middle, And not only that, look, if you look at the sheet here, Rafa Santos' option is he only has an option for next year. Be honest with you, I don't see him renewing. If I was the GM, I would probably get a really good left wing back now, get him for till 2027, and then have Taifi make the off roster, and I have a backup there, or somebody from the academy.
Hopefully in a year or so, Tahiri Brown's really starting to
or
push
Tahiri Brown,
into that as well. Like he's on that path, if maybe a year or so behind Alex. So
yeah,
but let's hope.
So that's what I would do, because I feel the same way as you. I think that left wing back or somebody that can play both of those positions will be tremendous, because I would have said maybe a really good, solid left back if Yutaro Sukada would have been available. but unfortunately he's a SCI.
Yeah.
But win back will be phenomenal. I think it'll fix a lot of the issues because knowing Oscar, you got Duncan, you got Ramiro, you got Muriel. Those are your strikers, whether you like it or not. That's it. Also on OCB you have Justin Ellis. He's one of the top goal scorers in that league. So I mean, you can we play with, what's his name, Jack Lynn, for how many. I feel Jack Ellis is 3 times as better, if not super
Yeah.
talented than Jacqueline.
Yeah.
No disrespect.
No, I mean that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
Taifi's not on this roster. Like there are OCB only guys
Yeah.
that will be getting on this roster soon, right? So, and if they're through the academy and they're homegrown, I don't know how exactly the rules on how many you can have, but I know they don't count towards your salary cap. So always good. And now once you have enough of those and you build out like some of your roster that has 5 or 6 of those that are regulars in your squad, you can then use a lot of that extra money that you're not hitting the salary cap with to start moving pieces around. And that's how you can end up with a really good team and also using your academy at the same time. So hopefully that's what we're working towards with every window, having more and more of these homegrown talents that are filling out our squad. Luis, you want to read a couple more comments before we
Let's
move
read some comments here. To be Yanis says, "Good evening, LPO. Great to hear from you guys. We're at a great win. Hopefully they use this to boost their confidence and score more in the MLS. Hang loose." Thank you, my friend. I totally agree with you in there. That this win is intricate. It was important for the fans. It was important for their momentum, and I'm happy that they were able to definitely put an end. I don't know. I feel like slowly but surely we're feeling a little bad for the Rowdies. We feel a little. Like, man, poor little Rowdies. You know what I mean? Like, you know. I feel that their ownership needs to sell them. I do feel like it needs somebody that's more identifiable with the sport, at least for them to compete in the USL level.
Well, there's all this turmoil going on in
Yeah.
St. Pete, right? In Tampa, they got the moving of the baseball stadium. There's this thing happening with the Rowdies. Like it seems to be a trend over there. So, what's Josh Shaw got to say?
This is, what do you think OC needs to beat the refs? That's a good segue to the next topic here. We're going to be playing against the New England Revolution, John. What are your expectations coming up out of this match?
I mean, I obviously really want to win. The Revs, a team at the beginning of the year that everyone was like, we don't know what this is. They made so many roster moves. They basically changed out their whole roster. Last year, Caleb Porter came in and took over and really didn't do much. This year, they started out pretty flat, but they finally kind of come alive, and they've actually won their last 5. So this is a Revs team that's having a real resurgence at the moment. Obviously, they beat Rhode Island last night. Let's not read into that too much. But before that, they did manage to beat Toronto. Okay, I think that's probably an expected win for them at home, regardless. But they did manage to beat Charlotte and New York City and Atlanta. So definitely Charlotte. I think that was a big win for them. They got a 1-0 away at Charlotte's house. Massive result, in my opinion. So they are having a resurgence. They are trying to make themselves relevant and rise up the table in the East. But I don't know. I would still consider them a maybe playoff team. I'm not sold yet on this Revs, this new Rev system, and I really don't believe in Caleb Porter anymore. So I feel like I feel like they started bad and now they're having a good streak, right? I think I don't see them being a consistently good team by the end of the year. So even though they are in a hot streak, I still feel like we can punish them. They do have a very good defense. Like, that is what I will say. And going up against our very good defense right now, we could be in for, a defense off, right? We could be in for a goalkeeper's game where, Pedro has to stand on his head again. I hope not, but as the stats are going, it's looking like two teams with very good defenses and offenses that can work, but not always, as we've seen in recent weeks.
Orlando's recent defensive prowess is notable, obviously, with 5 consecutive clean sheets in MLS play. And also 4 of their 5 MLS matches ended on 0-0 draws. So we are struggling offensively, I feel like. I know that we just played the Rowdies. We beat them 5-0. I think we need to use our ace of spades, which is Gustavo Caraballo. I think he needs to be part, not of the starting lineup, but I feel like definitely have minutes, because his unpredictability could be a really determining factor, and he's hot right now. And when a player is hot and is full of confidence, you want to put him in those tough moments to see what he got. Also, the Revs have won 4 consecutive MLS games, including 3 straight road victories. And one of the main concerns I have about the Revs, and I wrote it here, is Leonardo Campana. He is going off. He's finding connections. He's becoming influential in the attacking third. And the set pieces, we need to watch out with the set pieces. We need to watch out how we're marking Campana and not leaving him enough space to head it in, or to do a back heel shot, or to do a really good pass so they can shoot from distance. So Campana is definitely able to hold out defenses and hold out center backs, look for the contact. So we need to be very precise on how we're marking him. So he's been scoring twice. So Campana scored twice in the last 3 games. So
my concern is that they're gonna do what Chicago did when they went down to 10, and I think the Revs like a defensive, let's put 2 lines of defense way deep, low block style, absorb the pressure, and then hit you on the counter. That can really work against us, because if we don't have that ability to move the ball well enough side to side and break a team down, and we give them those opportunities to hit us on the counter, they might, at some point get one of those. Like recently, it hasn't happened. Like Pedro has been bailing us out. We've been keeping the clean sheets, but it was close against Chicago with those counterattacking opportunities. I think it's going to be a similar situation with the Revs. I think they're going to look at that tape and say they don't know how to break down a low block. So I think they're going to come in, and their defense is strong, as you can see here. We're winning in all the overall stats, right? We're better in goals scored. We've got more assists. Our attacking stats are much better, but defensively, they have the edge over us, conceding only 7 goals to our 12. So I think they're going to play that defense, and really try and get like a Pappy special against us. Is how I think Caleb Porter's going to play this one. So I think we have to, we could go into the lineup, but just like we did against the Rowdies, we got to put Ojeda in there. If Atuesta is fit, he's got to go in there. If not, I want to play Dagger again in that, box-to-box midfield role. We need guys that can hold the ball, move the ball around, shift spaces, draw the team left to right, bring them out of their, blocks, get them to move around to open up the spaces so that we can then, get some decent chances, because we don't want to end up like we did against Chicago, where we're just getting to that, line of defenders and then hitting it into them, or making a miss pass, or just not really having a game plan of actually how to break down, a low block defense.
130 people live right now. Thank you for your support. If you are on X, retweet the video. If you're on YouTube, comment and be part of the conversation. Support us. Thank you so much. We're Loud and Proud Orlando. Salty H2O says basically we need to take them seriously and get the W at home, and we need our strikers to do their job. Exactly, sir. You nail it. You nail it right on the head. Orlando has won. Right now, we have an edge over New England when it comes to stats. So Orlando has won both their 2024 matchups, 3-1 on July 13th and 3-0 on September 14th. It's the first ever season sweep of the Revs. You know, now this is the Orlando City that got to the Eastern Conference Final too. So and this is the Revs that couldn't even score one goal. Now, um, we need to see Orlando be 110% effective, especially off the counter. Bay, I based on what I saw at the Rowdies game, he was ready to maybe have some minutes because he was jogging around, he was warming up, but I think Oscar decided to hold him off because obviously the Orlando won 5-0, so he just wanted to see other players maybe have some minutes like Taifi and things like that. So it just made more sense just to hold them off. So we may have a healthy, already near healthy Gerbe and hopefully an Atuesta. So that is good news. Also, we need to see Duncan Maguire be the Haaland of the Heartland again. And I think he's hopefully on his way after that awesome goal against the Rowdies. And when it comes to New England Revolution, I have some notes I took on some of the recent form from some of their players. So we need to watch out for Luca Langoni, which is their winger, the Argentinian under 22 signing. He has scored twice and he's assisted in 118 minutes since joining the team. So he's pretty influential. He's a starter there. Also, the new form, he's in form now. Leonardo Campana, former Inter Miami player, got completely shunned by Inter because of an aging Luis Suarez, which I think it's stupid, but okay, that's Inter for you. 2 goals in his last 3 games, as already said. He's become Porter's Barbie doll, essentially, and Carlos Hill, which he has returned from injury. He's scored 6 goals, 8 assists in 10 games against Orlando all time. So I repeat, 6 goals, 8 assists in 10 games against Orlando all time. He's back to be that playmaker he used to be. He's looking very dangerous, and I think this is a player that we should have targeted at some point. But again, we have Martin Ojeda, but this is a true 10, and he's coming up, and I think we need to definitely watch out for him. So those are some of the players, and also there's this player that we need to watch out. Also, Al Hassan Yusuf, the Nigerian international. So he also may have some minutes against Orlando City coming up on Saturday, John. So I know that you have there the latest lineup, correct?
That was actually the lineup against Toronto. And then this was their lineup against I forget who they played. Rhode Island. That was it. So they played a lot of what I would consider some of their starters. Like not all of them, but Jackson Yule's in here.
Chancalai's in their team.
Yeah, Chancalai scored a goal. Langoni, like you were talking about. Brandon Bai, I consider a starting guy. Will Sands is definitely a starting guy. Like it wasn't all second teamers. So I think we're gonna have a full strength lineup for us. I think Carlos Gil will be in there, of course. I think Campana will be in there. And then more and more of their first team, right? I think their fullbacks are really dangerous. They've caused us problems before. They're likes of Brandon Bai, getting up on that side. Maybe they're not doing that as much as this year. Maybe that's part of the reason they're defensive, is they're kind of keeping their back four perhaps a little bit more stable. But other years we've seen them kind of push those fullbacks up as well and cause us problems on the wide positions. Their subs in the last one. Yeah, they brought on a few guys, no one of real note. So
okay, can you what's the name of number 48?
Number 48, Liam Butts.
Phenomenal.
Hey man, I'm just reading it. It's Liam Butts.
Liam Butts.
We're gonna have some interesting things to say about Liam Butts. But yeah, this is the Revs lineup. I think it's gonna be a win for us, man. I mean, we want to go through and do our lineup. I think it's gonna be a rough game, but I think we can win it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think it's.
I think Luis is having some audio trouble, so we'll let him try and
Can you hear me
figure that
now?
out. Yeah, I got you, buddy. You
All right,
there?
perfect. Sorry about that. Yeah, yeah.
You're good. I just
So
lost you for
I
a
was
sec.
gonna say, let's do the lineup. Let's do the lineup real quick.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, we have it right here. So we have Pedro. I think we're back to Pedro Galese, correct?
Yeah, I think Pedro for sure.
Okay, and then we got a back four. Freeman.
Freeman, Jansen, Schlegel, Brecalo.
Oh, why is it not? Oh, it erased it. That's weird. Hold on, let me reset it
good.
one more time. So hold on one second.
Anybody watching, you can go ahead and put your score predictions in the chat for us. What do you think this one's going to be versus the Revs on Saturday at home?
Yeah, so we got Galese, we got Freeman,
Yeah, I think
and we got
Gillespie,
Schlegel and
Freeman,
Jensen.
Gillespie, Freeman, Schlegel, Jansen. Yeah, I think so. What about in the mids?
I think we're gonna see Cesar,
Yep.
and more than likely, I mean, I want to say Atuesta. I want to be surprised, John. Who do you think is going to be your left back?
Left back, Brecalo.
Brecalo.
Yeah. I think it's going to be Dagger and Cesar. Yeah.
Dagger and Cesar in the mid. Yeah.
Yeah,
probably.
I think that was a warm up of the what we were going to see until Atuesta's back if he's got a niggling injury.
Yeah, so I'll go for Cesar and Dagger, and well, all right, and then Ojeda right there in the middle.
Yep, Ojeda with Pasalic on the right wing.
Yeah, Pasalic, and then right up top, I think I'll go for. I think he's gonna pick Muriel.
I think he rested Muriel for a reason.
And then
I would go Enrique left wing,
I
but
would go Ramiro as well.
I think he's gonna put Angulo back in. I wouldn't be shocked.
I don't. I mean,
I
look.
don't want to, but I think he will.
Look, Mr. Pareja, if you're listening, try Ramiro on the wing, man. You know, I don't know. I feel that Angulo could be that it factor coming off the bench like he did, when he first joined the team. But I think right now he's very inconsistent. And
I think you could start Ramiro and bring on Angulo, or either way. Like I don't. Also think Nico, if he's okay, then I think he should get some minutes. Caraballo could get on, right? Like I think we got to use our wingers. We got to give them more minutes. We need to have more options than just Angulo on that left wing. So Rodriguez played well last game, I think. So I wouldn't hate if he got a start in this one.
Yep. Yeah. So this will be the lineup for us. Galese up top, Freeman, Schlegel, Jensen, Brecalo, Cesar Araujo, Dagerdan Thorhalson, right at the 10, Martino Ojeda on the left, Ramiro Enrique on the right, Pasalic, and right up front, Luis Muriel. Why Ramiro Enrique? Because at least for me, I can speak. I feel we need a little bit more of consistency right there on the wing. Ramiro is also fast. I think he can play that role also. It'll be good to see him play the left wing role, and he's a player that can deliver, and see what happens. I think it's not bad to try. I'd rather try against the Revs than try against Cincinnati or Columbus. Um, and imagine if we gain somebody that will compete with friendly competition for Ivan Angulo, right, John? So I think it'd be great. Josh
Yes.
Stahl says, we need a twist back. Let's win. There you go. All right. So anything else you want to add before we go, John?
Yeah, let's just do our score predictions real quick.
Yep. Do you have the
Yep,
right here?
it's right here. So shout out to you once again for getting that Rowdy score bang on with the 5-0. So you got 3 right so far this year, Luis. You're steaming ahead of me with my only 1 right. What are you gonna go for? I've got 2-0 in there.
You got 2-0 already?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna go for 1-0 Orlando win.
A nice Pappy special. I love it. I
1-0
can see this one being low scoring.
1-0 Orlando win. Probably hopefully a Marco Pasalic goal.
I hope so, man. I hope so.
He needs to go back to his scoring ways. Maybe with his left foot. This is his weapon, remember.
I feel like the Revs, if they sit deep and he has those chances from outside of the box, you could see him rip one this game.
Yeah. So, and we will be going with a clean sheet again for like almost 600 minutes. That's pretty impressive. Now we need to score more goals now, but after the Revs, clearly Orlando City is going through a Wednesday game. Look, imagine that schedule, insane, against Charlotte. I cannot be there. I'll say it right now, live. I'm sure the club's going to be watching. I can't be there on Wednesday. But will you be there, John, on the standings? No,
I'm
me
sorry,
gusta
when?
Charlotte.
Oh, yeah, for sure. If you mean next Wednesday, that's Charlotte, right? Yeah,
Yep.
I'm sorry. I got to think about our timetable then, but who's when, because there's so many Wednesday where like May is crazy, man. Like obviously, let me show you quickly before we get out of here. New England our Saturday, Charlotte next Wednesday, Inter Miami the following Saturday, Portland the following Saturday. But also, I think now in between here, right, we've got the Open Cup game on a Wednesday against Nashville. So that's being added to the calendar. And then you got Atlanta and finally Chicago right on the 31st. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 7 more games in May. I mean, that almost seems wrong to me, but yeah, that's the schedule. We're Wednesday, Saturday for a whole month, y'all. So we will be here every Thursday for May to do this because we got 2 weeks.
And that's the reason why the secrecy on the injuries. And that's also the reason why they're resting some players like Gervais, like, you feel a little knock, okay, take the whole day off. If you want 2 days off, okay, fine, we'll take it 2 days off. Yeah, and so hopefully we can rescue out of, look, Orlando, New England, this is a game that we need to win. Yes, like we need to win this game. This home games back to back, it will be great. I mean, Charlotte is hot right now. If we beat Charlotte and we beat New England, that's 6 points. Then we go to No Me Gusta Flamingo right there in Miami. And bro, like it'll be great to grab like a draw there, and then boom, you got another home game. So our home games we need to win our home games. I think this is the trick out of this roller coaster of games. So
for sure. All righty, I think that's about it, man.
Well, I want to thank everyone who joined. We're going to be having this episode on our Apple Podcasts account and also on Spotify. Make sure you check us out on X, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as Loud and Proud Orlando. You can find me on X as Pineda_ORL. I'm not a very X guy, but sometimes I post, and I post either funny stuff or I just speak out of my mind, or I post people crying. You know, but no, I wanted to thank everyone who joined today, about 140 people. I want to thank you, John. I also want to thank a lot of the Ruckus fans and Iron Lion fans that have messaged me, thanking me for the coverage and for the videos. It's just for you guys also. So thank you so much. And we'll see you guys on Monday for another episode of LPO, hopefully with another win against the Revs. And vamos Orlando. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful day.
Vamos, Orlando.